I can't believe it! Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is! And to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Gee, it's unbelievable. You know, Acro tried to pin a murder on you. He did? Psst. Psst. My, he's just a little twerp, isn't he? Well, that's one way to put it. Ahem! Hey, pal, you gonna ignore me after I went through all the trouble to bring you some of this evidence? Whoa, Detective Gumshoe. Forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. Now, Detective, I'm sorry. Now, why don't you relax a little? We've got some really tasty milk. How about the card trick, Detective? Ho, well, if you insist. Now, about that evidence you mentioned. What is it? Here you goes. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. The result of our investigation, pal. You can look at it later. Won't Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on a need-to-know basis. And we ain't really allies or nothing. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. Von Karma looked like she was in a pretty big hurry, though. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans was put into place. Final plans? Uh-huh. That reminds me, I got a message from the prosecutor for you. Judgment comes at the very last instant. That's it. And that's it for me too, pal. I'm going home. What did he mean by that? The very last instant part. Everything he said seems pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Oh, don't scare me like that. It looks like there's a large care package for the circus, from the circus for the defendant. What? For me? It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it before it spoils. An entire dairy's worth of milk for me? Milky Maxwell? Million? Rabble. This court is now back in session. Shall we continue our proceedings? Miss Von Karma, please continue from where you left off.
Well, I would like to continue with Acro testimony, starting with his relationship to victim. I would also like to get proof from the fans. Proof of what kind of motive Acro will have to commit this crime.
Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Oh, just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Yo, what's up, Isaac? About the ringmaster. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the very big circus, Russellberry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. Such a thoughtful young man.
As you hear, witness deeply respect the victim. I wonder how anyone could think Acro could kill the man he held in such esteem.
You're absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there? Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? The defense has a right to cross-examine the witness.
So tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You do not care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness. About the ringmaster. Alright. We were little. We were abandoned by our parents. We? Yes. My brother Sean and I. What? You have a brother?
How old were you when this happened, Acro?
I was 8 and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel then, weren't they? Well, nowadays we aren't bitter about what happened to us, because it allows us to meet the wonderful people at the Big Berry Circus. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed. Ow!
There is no crying in court. Let us keep going.
The witness may proceed with his testimony.
That's when the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother all rolled up into one. The ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had.
What about other people at the circus?
This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in, so no one really had the time to look after us. They were worried about other things, but the ringmaster, he would always come in and see us with a laugh and a smile.
What a beautiful story.
That is why I was always thinking of what I could do to help. I wanted to thank him. Isn't Acro such a wonderful person? I know, he seems like a nice guy, which is what makes this so difficult.
So then how long have you been a performer?
I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. You started off as an acrobat at an early age then, huh? I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. And that's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dingleberries. It's nearly a household name.
I have even heard of them in Germany.
Liar. The point that I wanted to make is that some of us use the circus.
You truly are a remarkable young man.
The judge keeps looking at Acro almost like a proud father. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. Did you ever have any trouble with the ringmaster? Oh!
How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of this witness testimony? Or the heartfelt emotion contained within? You better think about it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and think hard.
No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see this witness ever taking the victim's life.
Exactly. I have been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor.
Nick, I hate to say it, but I think I agree with them. I was just trying to chase down the truth, but ended up looking like a jerk.
I think that will be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this witness would kill the ringmaster leads me to believe that is pretty much unlikely.
Exactly right, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question.
Well, go ahead, Your Honor.
What was Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster? How about it? Can you explain that to me?
So, I think more than anything, this is the real kicker here. Small quantity of pepper located on the scarf, which indicates the scarf that was given to Bat. The scarf that was given to Bat directly before he put his head in the lion's mouth. A scarf that would cause that very same lion to sneeze and chomp down and cause that damage. So, yeah, I think the scarf isn't the motive, but I think Regina is the motive. Revenge on Regina by taking the life of her father. Can you explain that to me? But no, because he wouldn't kill the father. He wouldn't kill the father because he loved him. He loved him. He wouldn't do that. That'd be no bueno. Up and down. I think we gotta say no for now and see what happens. Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven.
Nani?
That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. Oh!
Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Do you forget? You make accusation against witness, did you not? I believe this was the real killer of Russell Berry, a ringmaster.
You want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right.
The end of things.
Acro. You didn't plan to kill the ringmaster at all, did you? The ringmaster wasn't your target that night.
Oh!
What did you just say?
I'm saying the target of the witness's murder plot was not the ringmaster. He did not plan to kill Russell Berry at all.
Nani?
Order! Order in my courtroom, bailiff. I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in my court? Ow!
Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do in his court? Are you attempting to imply that there was someone else Acro was trying to kill?
Well, yeah, no, this makes so much more sense now, because think about it. He gave this note directly to Regina. This wasn't intended to go on the bulletin board. She put it there. Unless maybe it was, but all we know for a fact is that this was put on her person from him to the murderer. Haven't forgotten 6 months ago, have you? Meet at 10 p.m. tonight at the lodging house. The instructions were for her. This was his target.
Regina Berry?
This young girl is the ringmaster's daughter, correct?
Acro. You were really aiming for her that night, weren't you?
You do not need to answer that. The mean-spirited leading question.
He could easily answer the question. If I'm wrong, all he has to say is, you're wrong, and that's it.
That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Enough, Mr. Wright. Allow me to...
The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself.
Huh?
And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me evidence, now! I want to know why Acro would want to kill Regina Berry.
Yeah. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill the young girl.
It's gotta be the note. Gave it directly to her, and it says to the murderer, and it called her there at 10. It's gotta be the note. Acro, do you have any recollection of seeing this? It's a piece of paper that was found inside the ringmaster's tailcoat.
Inside the victim's tailcoat?
Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 p.m.
So you're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note?
There's just one little problem.
Oh, problem?
Acro did indeed place the note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the ringmaster.
You mean it wasn't for the...
That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry herself. Regina, sorry.
Order, order, order! Mr. Wright, this little theory of yours...
It's not a theory, it's the truth, Your Honor. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her, which is why, the morning of the crime, she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board.
That's when her father, the ringmaster, read this note?
That's correct. The ringmaster ended up in the plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake, instead of Regina.
That's incredible!
Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today? Lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. And if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself. Acro had no idea who it was that arrived at the plaza, because he couldn't look down out of his window to see who it actually was.
I've got it! Acro thought it was Regina down in the plaza.
And that's when he let the bust fly. Hey, Nick, isn't Regina listening to all of this from the audience? She is. Unfortunately, it's only going to get harsher from here on. I hope Regina can handle it.
Acro wrote this note to Regina.
Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas of foolish tomfoolery. You're so foolish you make even me sound like foolish fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If you're so sure, then tell us about lying. I have conclusive evidence of what took place.
Uh-huh. That's the line in the note, all right.
Well, if this note was sent to Regina Barry, it must mean that this note is declaring Regina Barry is murderer.
You just don't get it, do you?
What? What did you just say?
The ringmaster knew what that note meant, which is why he went to the plaza in place of his lovely daughter.
Hold it. Right there. What is this incident that is alluded to in the note?
The incident 6 months ago. An incident occurred 6 months ago. And now I am more than ready to show this court what happened at that time.
Moron!
Wait, are you sure that it relates to this present case?
It 100% does, Your Honor. Guaranteed. Everything in this case is starting from what happened 6 months ago. Really, Nick? I think so. Well
then, if that is the case, then hurry up and tell us all about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note?
I'd
certainly like to know what it is too.
If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence, the incident 6 months ago, it's what he included in the chest. Think about it. It's found on the scarf. There's pepper on the scarf, and pepper was included on the chest. This was his conclusive evidence, right here.
Achoo! Achoo! Achoo!
What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Oh, it isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence that you asked for.
What do you mean?
The victim would arrive to try and take away the wooden box. That's when they discovered the decisive evidence found inside.
Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. So what exactly are you saying? Are you claiming Regina Barry killed someone with a bottle of pepper?
Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw.
Foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. Who's Regina Barry's intended victim?
Wait, what? Who was Regina Barry's intended victim? It was Bat. Right? Yeah. Has to be.
Who is this?
That is Acro's younger brother.
What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead?
Technically, that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel that his brother is dead.
Regina. She did that to him?
Do you spend your entire life dreaming of new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dangling. 6 months ago, he was beat by lion, fell into current comatose state.
A lion?
Miss Regina Barry is animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Miss Regina could never do something like that. It's just not her.
You want to bet?
So then what happened to Acro's brother?
He is not
victim of attempted murder. He is victim of an accident.
I see.
Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with your theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? It was more than that. The lion biting Bat was no accident at all.
Nani?
You are such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix Wright. There is no way that Regina would incite her lion to attack another human being.
She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being, but Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother, Bat, and you can tell from this scarf.
That's just a scarf.
Acro. This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? That's right. And who was the one that gave this scarf to Bat? Regina. Regina gave it to him.
Regina.
There is something more than just blood on this scarf, Your Honor.
And what might that be?
Pepper.
Pepper?
Pepper. Regina gave this scarf to Bat right before the incident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could. Hey, what's with the silent treatment?
Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering a criminal, but out of curiosity, what was her crime? Regina gave a pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that?
Still seems like the judge just doesn't get it.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that lion seemed to be smiling?
Smiling? The lion was smiling?
Right before Bat was bit by Lion. For a moment, Lion mouth changed and looked as he was smiling.
Lions smile?
I've never heard of them smiling, however.
Lions sneeze.
Whoa.
Leon didn't plan on biting Bat at all. In reality, all he actually did was sneeze. He sneezed because of the pepper spread on the scarf.
You fool!
You've got to be kidding me. What's the matter, Miss Von Karma?
I object! For objection's sake, Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really plan to say this joke of accident actually happened?
Of course I do. It's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when Bat lost consciousness. Acro nearly lost his brother due to the incident, or this joke, as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina.
Oh, you foolish idiot.
So it's a joke of an accident to you, huh? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me that what I said was true? Acro.
You cannot mean witness!
Are you confirming the defense's claim?
Mr. Wright, unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it's a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory.
And what would that problem be?
The same problem it's always been, evidence. If I drop Max's bust on the top of the ringmaster, where's the evidence that proves that claim?
You mean the conclusive evidence?
The biggest problem is the murder weapon. Or the lack, therefore, to be more precise.
The murder weapon.
The bust that the defendant claims to use. If that were to be found in Acro's room, and if it were covered with the victim's blood, well, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes.
Well, yes, it would be.
The bust. Nick, you've got to do something. This is the last step. I've got to get this one right. The case is won. Research his room, I don't think that's gonna do it. It would have been found already and covered up if it was like that. Knowing Von Karma, we gotta see how things work out here. It might be worthwhile to search his room, but why aren't you going to search his room?
It looks like you're finally figuring things out. didn't you? Now you know the true meaning of Von Karma told justice.
I guess. I figured with you that's the least I should expect. You leave no stone unturned.
If Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro room yesterday.
Well, what did you find?
There is no reason to even say it. We found what you think we found in that room. Acro would not be here as witness. But to put the point on it, Max's bus was not in the courtroom. The murder weapon still unaccounted for.
You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room.
Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed the search by complete surprise. And we took Acro directly to prosecutor office after that. End of story.
Just wait a second. Something's funny about all of this. It looks like the coup de grace in this case was ever so sweet. But what about the scarf? What about the note? What about them, Mr. Wright? No offense, but the important evidence here is about the death of the ringmaster. And I think you should remember that. Do something, Nick. Don't let this case slip away. The bust, where is it now? Where is the bust right now? You're Phoenix Wright. You know where the bust is. Sure you do. There's not even a single clue. How am I supposed to know where the bust is?
It seems as if this case is coming to a close. The defense's counter-arguments look to have fallen short.
Thank you for your support.
Ugh. Now, if you'll please excuse me, Mr. Wright.
I think that brings this to an end of the cross-examination of the witness.
No! Probably. We got nothing. We got nothing so far. Where is Max's bust? The defense needs time to prepare to present its case. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and I just bit my tongue.
Huh?
What? We need time to do what?
Why are you the most surprised person here? She's your aide, isn't she?
Do you really have a case to present, Mr. Wright?
Nani? Is he talking to me? The rest is up to you, Nick. Good luck. Hey, wait, you can't be serious. Acrobats always have their lives on the line, don't they? That's how Acro lived his life up until now. Now it's time for us to walk across our own tightrope. If we don't, we're certain to lose.
Very well. The defense may proceed.
He doesn't have a clue, and I don't think he'll be finding one anytime soon. Walking the tightrope of logic. There's no room for a false step. Sink or swim. The only way is through forward.
The murder weapon. Where is Max's bust now?
Okay. Somewhere in the lodging house, somewhere in the big top, or somewhere in this courtroom. Let's think about this. I'm absolutely certain that it was the murder weapon. So we're gonna go and use that as our base assumption, I think, here. That the bust is the murder weapon no matter what, and that absolutely he did drop it on their head, because we have to assume the truth in our theory if we're going to prove our client innocent. So if he were taken in for question immediately the next day, the monkey takes shiny things. It doesn't take them away. It would have still been in his room, and he can't get out of his room on his own. So if someone were to come into his room, he would have had to hide it. He would have had to hide it. So it could be in the lodging house, but they did a sweep of his room. They didn't find it, so it's not in the lodging house. Somewhere in the big top. I don't think that's possible. So it's gotta be here. It's obvious. The bust is inside this very courtroom.
It's obvious?
Allow me to pinpoint the location of the bust once and for all. The judge's bench, the prosecutor's bench, or the witness's chair. The judge is that's just preposterous. The prosecutor, I mean, if she was hiding evidence, that would be it, but accusing her is not gonna do it. I just gotta go for it. Acro. I'm sorry to ask this, but do you mind if I take the blanket off your wheelchair? Oh, wait, yo. Yo, are you serious? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you, Mr. Wright. Well, you are a big guy, and you have a pretty big wheelchair because of it. I just wanted to make sure you weren't hiding anything under that blanket. Because it seemed to me that it'd be really easy to say, hide a bust under there. I mean, it doesn't seem that easy, but... Once again, your penchant for humor hits me where it hurts, Mr. Wright. I think it's pretty amazing that you could laugh in your position. However, your lightheartedness doesn't change the fact that the bust is under there. We all know that you couldn't leave the lodging house by yourself in your condition. That proved inconvenient when Miss Von Karma happened to search your room yesterday. If she had found the murder weapon in your room, it would have been all over. Which is why you had to hide it. And the only place that you could hide it, under your wheelchair. This is dumb. Which is why, Acro, I have to ask you again, could you please remove the blankets from your chair? Well done, Mr. Wright. Masterfully. I can't believe that's it.
You fool! How could you? How could you?
The look of shame. You've got me. I've been bagged by a real pro. Actually, two of them. Two of them. Miss Franziska von Karma and Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Nani?
There's just one thing I'd like to know. How did you know to launch the surprise search on my room last night? There were two pieces of decisive evidence, the cloak and the bust. I burned the cloak in my room and threw the ashes away with the trash. Regina always took my trash out every morning, you know. But the bust, obviously I couldn't throw that away. When you executed your search, all I could do was try and hide the bust. And the only place that I could hide it quickly was under the wheelchair. Miss Von Karma, you had things all figured out, didn't you? I was completely sucked in by your calculated strategy. And now to be caught in the middle of the court, hiding the murder weapon? There's no way I can escape that. So you've got me. Well done, Mr. Wright. And well done, Miss Von Karma.
It all makes sense now.
I can't believe that Von Karma thought that far ahead. It's amazing. You definitely couldn't tell by looking at her. She had no idea. I know I sure couldn't.
I cannot believe it! I failed! Why did I order a surprise search of your room? If only I hadn't done that.
It doesn't matter now, though. It seems as if we've arrived at a truth. Acro.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you kill the ringmaster of Berry Big Circus, Mr. Russell Berry?
Yes, Your Honor. I am responsible for the crime. Acro. All my brother did was want Regina to like him. That's why he'd tease her. One day my brother sprinkled some pepper on Regina. She started sneezing so hard you couldn't help yourself from laughing. That's why Regina thought it'd be funny to get him back in the same way. And that's why she covered the scarf in pepper. I know she didn't want anything bad to happen. I know this. She just wanted to make my brother sneeze a few times too. But I just couldn't forgive her no matter what. What am I truly guilty of? I'm guilty of never ever being able to understand her. Your brother became a star. Regina believed in that so purely that she would laugh innocently when saying it, too innocently. I just couldn't stand it, no matter how hard I tried. And that's when you decided to do something about Regina.
What do you mean by that?
So you are saying that you're a victim in all of this as well?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm nothing but a murderer. That's who I am. At first, I thought I'd kill myself. Then I pondered giving myself up, but couldn't just leave. I just couldn't. That's why I tried to pin this on Max. Max, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't up and leave yet.
This has been such a strange case. It's almost a reflection of the circus itself.
I'm an idiot. I cannot believe it. You beat me again.
I believe this case is now beyond any point of possible discussion. Thus, I'd like to declare my verdict.
Baby! We saved them, dudes. We did it. Maximilian Galactica, safe and sound.
This court is adjourned.
Did it, guys. Ya to the ta. Got it. December 30th, 4:27 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 5. Fabulous! But to be honest, I can't really be too happy about this. Acro, the Ringmaster, Regina, and Bat. Not a single one of them was a bad person on the inside, huh? That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to. Whoa, congratulations, Mr. Max! Thank you. What's with the vibe in this room? We're just thinking about Acro. No. If you worry about people too much, you'll be like this forever, and you'll never be happy. Huh? She's been like this for a while now. It's all my fault. Sweetie Pie. Bat and Acro, they're never coming back. Now everyone's gonna split up. Regina. Mr. Wright, tell me something. What do you want to know, Regina? Acro said something right at the end. I just couldn't up and leave yet. Does that mean that Acro, is he gonna try and get his revenge on me? I don't think so. He's not gonna do that to you, Regina. Are you sure? You're really sure? I can believe that? Yeah, Acro doesn't have any desire for revenge anymore. Well, if that's true, I want to see some evidence. Huh? Acro said all that time. I thought it'd work for me too. I think this is why he didn't want to leave yet. Acro didn't want to get caught for a reason. He wanted to see his brother open his eyes again. Bat? That's right, Regina. He's still alive, you know. He is, huh? But now that Acro's been caught... Yeah. I know! What? I'll do it! I'll stay next to Bat as long as it takes until he opens his eyes, and then he can meet Acro again. That's so sweet of you, Regina. I'm sorry, Acro. I'm sorry, Bat. Well, hopefully this is enough to get her a little peace of mind. Hey, Max. What is it, Mo? We really put you through a lot, didn't we, buddy? Well, I'm sorry about what happened. So, whenever you'd like to leave us, we'll pay your fee and rip up the contract. I understand. Such a fabulous thing to do for me. I might even leave tomorrow. What's going to happen to the circus now? Well, that's the big question. Our ringmaster was really an amazing person, wasn't he? Even though he's not here anymore, everyone is sticking together. The staff, the performers, no one wants to leave the circus. That's why I've made a decision. What is it? I've decided that I will take over as new ringmaster, and I'll turn this circus into the best circus the world has ever seen. The best circus the world has ever seen? Don't laugh! Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait. then I guess that changes things. There's only one thing the best circus in the world has ever seen needs. The world's best illusions. Which means the circus needs the best magician the world has ever seen. Max, let's work together and make our circus super fabulous. What do you say, big guy? I don't know what to say. All I can say is thank you. Regina, you're gonna help them out too, aren't you?
I don't know. Maybe the circus would be better off without me.
What are you talking about, Regina? Why do you think that I brought you to court today? We gotta work together to make the Very Big Circus bigger than it's ever been.
Mo's
right, sweetie pie. It can't be the Very Big Circus without Regina Barry.
Max.
Nick, it seems like everything is going to turn out all right here. Well, I can't wait to go and see the best circus the world has ever had. We'll save you the most fabulous seats. It'll take us a while to get there, but now I'm gonna order a special whoopee cushion seat. I see. What made the case? Just like you thought. Yesterday's search really paid off, sir. You had it all figured out yesterday, didn't yas? It was just a theory. If Acro really was the killer, I thought this was the only way it could end. Especially if he was the defense attorney. You mean Mr. Wright? Of course. Well, detective, my plane is about to leave. Is Franziska von Karma leaving? Do me a favor and do not be too harsh on Acro. Once I get back, I'll make sure to stop by the chief prosecutor's office. Yes, sir. I'll be waiting for yous. Goodbye, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Edgeworth was behind it. He's coming back. Case 4, we're getting edgy, boy. Yes. Yes, he's coming back. That's all I needed, man. That's all I wanted. Oh, that's so great. Oh, it's so good. I'm so happy. Farewell, my turnabout. The final chapter of the game unlocked and ready to go for the next time.